For those of you watching on YouTube, I am obviously on the road, so my surroundings here look a bit different, but our stories, they of course remain the same. Do you remember the other day when I told you about President Trump pressuring Attorney General Pam Bondi to move quickly on prosecuting his political enemies? Well, Bondi's Department of Justice has notched its first victory there. Former FBI Director James Comey has been formally indicted by a federal grand jury. Comey's now facing charges of making false statements and obstruction of justice. While a lot of the details around this investigation and the grand jury haven't been made public as of Thursday night, we know what the case is about. The case revolves around Comey's testimony in front of Congress about the 2016 Trump-Russia collusion investigation. Now, he gave that testimony on September 30th of 2020, and that date is key. Lying to Congress has a statute of limitations of 5 years, meaning if that crime was committed, if the charges were not filed within that time frame, they simply can't ever be. And if you don't have a calendar handy, you might not notice that the statute of limitations in this case has a deadline of Tuesday. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on X after the news was announced, saying that no one is above the law, and quote, "Today's indictment reflects the Department of Justice's commitment to holding those who abuse positions of power accountable for misleading the American people." Now, Comey is the highest ranking former federal official to face charges in connection with that long-running FBI investigation into alleged collusion between Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and Russian officials. Now to Texas, and the latest on that fatal shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. Authorities found several handwritten notes from shooter Joshua John. One referred to the work of ICE agents as, quote, human trafficking. Another expressed hatred of the federal government. And in a third, he wrote, quote, "It was just me and my brain. Good luck with the digital footprint." Now, the FBI says that John carefully planned his attack, with one note outlining this chilling thought. Quote, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with armor-piercing rounds on that roof?" In addition to this mountain of evidence, authorities added that John conducted multiple online searches for video of Charlie Kirk's murder, as well as for apps that track the movements of ICE agents. Yet, despite all of that, John's family is dismissing the claims that he was a radical leftist who hated ICE agents. A relative who spoke with the Post simply said, quote, "It has nothing to do with that." Now, the shooter was also very active as a gamer, and his profile on the online gaming platform Steam offered investigators a trove of information. He logged more than 17,000 hours in the past 2 years and spent a good deal of time playing first-person shooter games. And just hours before he took up a real-life gun that killed one and injured 2 others, he logged in to play Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead 2, both first-person shooter games. Moving on now back to D.C., or Virginia in this case, and a mystery. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has summoned all of the U.S. military's top brass to Marine Corps Base Quantico next week, but he isn't telling them why. Now, these generals are stationed all over the world, so it's pretty short notice to get them all back to Virginia. And a meeting like this is extremely rare. As you might guess, it presents quite a security concern. As one military analyst told the Post, quote, "Are we really sure we want all these senior officers in one place?" Great question. Now, broad theories about the meeting's topic include a major national security issue, cutbacks in firings, or large policy shifts. Now, Hegseth has said that he wants to reduce the number of leaders in the military and to then fill out the lower ranks. The secretary has already directed the Pentagon to cut the number of general officers by 20%. Now, this meeting also comes as the Pentagon makes final edits to a new national defense strategy for the president's second term, and it's a shift. Sources have said that the new plans shift the focus from China and the Indo-Pacific, a strategy that Trump set into motion in 2018, which continued well through the Biden administration, to instead one centered closer to home in the Western Hemisphere. For more on this story and everything else you could possibly want to know, check out the New York Post in print or online. And don't forget, like and subscribe to the New York Post cast wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. You'll be glad you did.